Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to all my lovely regular viewers, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So this is the set that I'm going to create in today's video, and I'm going to do it sort of as a work in progress. So I am going to show you how I buff back the nails, how I infill them, shape them, and then do the nail art. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting out by removing the previous nail art. Now these nails, whenever I did them for the video, I didn't intend to keep them on, so I literally didn't prep my nails at all for this video. So I'm really surprised that they stayed on, and the only reason that I did keep them on is because I absolutely loved them. I just thought it was so summery. I just loved all the colours, but now it's time for a change. So I'm going to be showing you some of the new e-file bits that I've got in, and they will be available on my website very shortly. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to use these nail files to make your work or these e-file bits, just to make your work so much more easier. Especially for these nails, they have so much lifting on them because I didn't prep them. What I did was I applied cuticle oil, loads of cuticle oil. I didn't even buff over the nails. I just literally cleansed them, put the cuticle oil and put the acrylic on top of it. So there's quite a lot of lifting, which you will see throughout the video. So I'm going to be using the fine 5-in-1 e-file bit, which is amazing for cutting away any lifting. And at this part of the video, I'm going to show you how I do that. So I have my e-file on about 4,000 to 5,000 RPMs. You want it nice and slow because you just want to cut the lifting away. You don't want to be cutting into the nail plate. So now you can see I'm just using the very tip of that e-file bit, and you can see just how easily it cuts that lifting away. When you're removing any lifting from the nail plate, you want to place this e-file bit just before where the lifting starts. That way all the lifting that's been cut away is cut completely clear. There's no more lifting on the nails, and because you've done it before where the lifting starts, it means that no more lifting will continue to happen. So now I want to remove the dust and just go in with my hand file just to see if all that lifting is away. So I still see a tiny little bit of the lifting that I'm going to go back in with my e-file bit just to completely remove it all. So that is all the lifting away from the nails. You can see that I've cut it all away. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my normal prep routine. So I'm going to push back my cuticles using my cuticle pusher, and then I'm going to go in with a cuticle e-file bit, which will also be available on my website very shortly, and as well as this little diamond bit, which I use to remove any of the dead skin and dead cuticle. I prefer to use this rather than use one of the little ball heads. I think it's just personal, it's just my personal opinion, but of course everybody is different. So I'm not actually pressing on the nail plate here. I'm actually lifting that little cuticle. If you watch very closely, you will see that I'm actually lifting the cuticle up ever so slightly. You can see it start to go out. So you don't want to keep doing it over the nail plate, because what will happen is you're going to go through the layers of the nail plate, and it's going to lead to thinning of the nail plate and the risk then of more breakages, etc. So now I'm moving on to my little diamond e-file bit, and you can see I'm going around the cuticle area. I'm removing any of that dead dry skin, and I definitely just prefer this little cuticle tool rather than using the ball ones. For me, I find I get a far better result. So now that I have cleansed the nails, I can see there's still a little tiny bit of cuticle just there. So I'm going to go in with my cuticle nippers and I'm just going to remove that little bit of excess cuticle. So I have went ahead and I have buffed in, removed any of the lifting of the rest of the nails. Now I'm just going to give them a cleanse over with some alcohol and I'm going to apply my Glitterbels dehydrator and then I'll apply my Glitterbels primer. So you can see just how much lifting was on these nails, and that was purely down to not prepping the nails at all. So if we prep the nails properly, you shouldn't get any lifting, but because I wasn't intending on keeping this set on at all, I didn't prep it. But I'm going through the whole prep process because I am going to keep this set on, and I want to be able to just do some more nail art videos for you. So I am going to give my nails a little bit of break and just infill them rather than some new sets. So the previous acrylic that I have on is from Not Polish and it is their Nude Panther. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to infill these nails with Glitterbels Pinkerbel cover. So a lot of people would say, no, you shouldn't mix brands. If you're confident enough with your work, you can see just how much lifting there was there. I froze the video just to let you see. But if you're confident enough in your work and you do your correct prep, there's no reason at all why you shouldn't be able to mix your brands. As long as they're professional grade brands, they should all be compatible together. So this is the Pinkerbel cover, and as you can see, it is practically identical to the Nude Panther. So I can't even tell a difference once this acrylic is on and blended into the rest of it. It is literally identical. So I'm using my size 16 acrylic brush, which I absolutely love, and I'm just placing that acrylic up at the cuticle area. I'm having my nail, it's pointed downwards just to let gravity do its thing, and then I'm just slowly just pressing and pushing that acrylic to where I want it to go and blending it in with the previous acrylic. So in with my second bead now, and because there was so much lifting on the nails, I need to replace the apex of these nails. So because the nails are quite long, I do need to bring the apex forward just a little bit. So I'm just blending that back into the cuticle area, but I'm going to leave the bulk of it in the apex area. On now to the ring finger and in again with my first bead, which I place just directly at the cuticles. As you can see, I'm holding my finger downwards just to let gravity do its thing, and I'm just pressing and pushing that acrylic into place. So I absolutely love working with the Glitterbels core powders. They are so easy to work with. They self-level so beautifully and are easily blended into a previous acrylic that's been laid. So again, I will go in and do another bead just to build up my apex, because again there was so much lifting. I'm keeping the video, this part of the video, in normal speed just so that you can see how easily the acrylic is to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let you swatch the rest of this acrylic application, and I'll come back once it's done. Okay, so that's all the acrylic on and applied, and now I just have to buff it in and make sure that it's nice and smooth. So my normal filing routine, I always go in with my Glitterbels metal board file, and I start at the side walls. I make sure they're nice and straight, and then once I've done that, I make sure my lower arch is nice and straight and coming out in line with the natural nail. After I've done that, I'll go to the free edge, make sure it's the shape that I wanted and that it's nice and straight. But for a change, I'm going to go in with my E-file and one of my new little sanding bands that I just absolutely love. So I just thought I would go ahead and show you. So this is my little sanding band, and because this is just infills, there really isn't a lot of filing to do on this. So really all I'm doing is going around the cuticle area and just down the whole length of the nail, just making sure that everything is nice and smooth. So this little sanding band is really fine. It's a 240 grit, so it's not going to cut in really deep and leave a lot of large scratches on the nail. You can also use this little sanding band for prepping the nail because it is it's not too coarse. You really shouldn't use anything lower than a 240 grit on the natural nail anyway, so these little bands are perfect. So I use a new one for each client, and I will use that one from the start of the service right to the end to do exactly what I'm doing here, just finishing off the filing and this shaping. So I never really leave in the whole filing routine, but I thought just for this video I would go ahead and leave it in and just show you how I do from the very start of my filing routine right to the very end. So I am always aware of the video being too long for you guys, so if you want to skip ahead to the nail art, go ahead and I'll come back then. So after I finish using my A-file, I like to go back in with my hand file just to make sure that those edges are really nice and crisp, as well as the free edge. I think sometimes when you're using an A-file, you kind of forget about, you know, the straight lines, and I think you need the straightness and the length of a hand file just to be able to get those super straight. So all the nails are all filed and shaped, and I'm now just cleansing them over with some alcohol just to remove any of the dust and debris. So the nail art I'm going to do today, I'm going to be using the Model 1's solid painting gel in colour 001. I absolutely love this gel, especially if I'm doing a French look to give an extended nail bed look. So this is the beauty of using a cover pink to work with. So I can infill my nails, I can keep my service time down by just doing the infill service and then doing a gel polish design on top. So by using the cover pink, I can do whatever design I want to on top of it. I can give it a French look, I can do basically any design because the cover pink is going to disguise the natural nail plate. So I used the striping brush just to get that smile line done exactly the way I wanted it, and now I'm going in with just a little gel paint brush just to fill that in. So I'm going to flash cure it for about 5 to 10 seconds, and then I'm going to go in with some pigments. But I'm taking a chance in this video, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do all the nails at once, and then I'll cure them at the end. Onto the ring finger, and just to change it up a little bit, the ring finger is going to be a full coverage of the pigments. So to get the best colour popping from the pigments, you're always better to go in with a white base. So I'm going to take this Model 1's gel paint and just cover the whole surface of the nail plate. So onto the middle finger, and the rest of the fingers are going to be done in the smile line, the French look that I'm doing here. So whenever I'm doing this, I kind of do 3 dots. So I do a dot in the center of the nail where I want the smile line to start, and then I do 2 dots on either side of the side walls, just where the natural free edge ends, and that's where my smile line ends. So it just gives me 3 focal points just to make sure that I can just bring my striping brush to the exact same position on each side of the nail. And if you're like me and you've got wobbly hands, because I haven't cured any of these nails yet, I can go in with my little clean up brush with some acetone and just clean up those smile lines. So on to the thumb now, and I can't believe that I haven't smudged these really badly. Honestly, most of the times I have to cure them in between because I always end up smudging. But I went ahead on the thumb, I've done my 3 points, and now I'm going in with my striping brush just to complete that smile line, and then I'll fill the rest in just using my little gel brush. I'm not sure that I'm finished with all yellow. I'm going to go in and have a little metallic sheen to them. So they are super pretty. I just hope that you don't have a dark one. Sorry, a lighter colour first, and then layer just to be able to. It just means it cuts down, you know. So these are just micro pigments that I got off eBay, and I'm just using the little eyeshadow brush and old eyeshadow brush. I find just and I'm just dipping it into the yellow, and I'm doing it on one side of the easiest to do. I'm just going to blend it over. I'm really concentrating on that colour right at the opposite. And then once I've got all the yellow on, I'll go back and then just as I get in towards the centre of the nail, I just kind of use what's left on the brush just to blend it into the yellow. Honestly, this is one of the easiest ways to do an ombre, and these little pigment powders, they are perfect for doing it.